What's up, poker crushers? You know the spot, you're down to 5 big blinds, your stomach drops, you just want to fold and survive. Stop it, that's the biggest mistake players make. Today I'm going to show you my super short stack survival guide with the exact tips when you have 5 big blinds or less. Why is this video crucial? Because I'm giving you the ultimate guide to turn that tiny 5 big blind stack into a potential double up and eventually maybe the final table. I'm Luna, tournament poker player, and if you want to master this do or die phase, hit that like button and subscribe now. Let's dive straight into the action. It's time to survive. Okay, and today we are going to see some hands just here on these 5 big blinds or shorter stack. So I only chose hands that were 5 big blinds or less. And we are going to see several hands that I played, and I hope it will really help you in your game. I don't see, normally you should see really well here. I'm going to make it a bit bigger for you. What is really important when you have a short stack is to really understand when is the right moment to go, and sometimes the right moment to go is sooner than you think. So we are going to see every hand that I played, every spot that I played, and really I'm going to understand, I'm going to tell you, make you understand why you should go on those spots. So here, for example, we are at the bottom. We don't have any specific moment in the tournament. I think this tournament right now is at maybe close to the bubble, but you don't have a stack that should that will allow you to go to the in the money phase. So the best way here is to push. And something that you should really understand is when you have 4 big blinds or less here, you should push all the king X suited. So king 2 suited will be a push. King 3, king 4, and king 5 will always be a push here. You can see also that I'm really far from the others. I must have lost a big pot just before. So it's really important here on those spots to go all in. You cannot let yourself die. You cannot let yourself have a better hands than this one. I didn't decide to go all in directly, but I think it's the best option. Something a bit strange, I think, on my part. Not going to make a huge difference. And you can see here it didn't go as planned, but I took the correct decision, and this is the most important when you go on those spots. So here on those hands, it's really important to go all in, but I think this one is quite easy. But you should understand that 3 big blinds or 4 big blinds, even 10 big blinds deep, pocket 8 is a really good hand when you are playing 3 players short-handed. So here in this tournament, it was on PokerStar and played three-handed. I don't remember why. But on those tournaments, it's really important to go all in. And I think it's the best decision here. And I won. Well, it's going to happen sometimes. This one is really simple. It's just simple. I'm so short. This one is really important. And this tip will often be really important for you. The tip here is to understand you should really push a lot when you're in big blind the next hand. So here, if you have 3 big blinds, it means that you should have a better hand than this. If you fold this one, it means that you think you're going to have a better spot, maybe in the 3 or 4 or 5 next hands. And I think Jack 8 suited is really a good hand to go all in with for several reasons here. And the main reason I would say is because it's a hand here normally with this short stack and having also a bounty on my head, a bounty tournament, you are going to be called by several other hands. So you really want to go all in with, I would say, hands that are a bit weaker, and but hands that are playing well in multi-weight pots. So it means if you are going to be called by several people, prefer to have like a hand like Jack 8 suited, then maybe have like King Deuce suited, because Jack 8 suited can make some stronger holdings in multi-way and doesn't always also block the calling range of the opponents. It's not so people will less likely call with the 8 in their hands or Jack in their hands than a King or Ace. So it means if you ever touch Jack or 8, you are more likely to win the pot. So you have a better equity in multi-way pots. That's why it's really important to go all in. I think with this hand, I think it's a really good spot to go all in. I did win this hand. We are going to see other hands. This one is really simple. There's nothing to do. Maybe just to add that normally if you are in those spots, you should really make sure that you push a lot of hands. when you have 4 blinds deep in a small blind, you should never almost limp. So I don't really like the limp here. It's not going to make a huge difference because I have a suited hand, but the calling range is going to be quite the same, so you should really try to go all in with those hands. Another hand that is really important here. So we have king high, we have 4 blinds deep. We have 2 decisions. We can either go all in or call. Both decisions are not going to be quite different, but I decided to call. I really like this option. Why? Because you don't normally, this range is quite, I would say, strong, because he opens with another guy behind that is has a huge stack at this moment. So this guy can go all in with a lot of hands, so normally he shouldn't open too wide, but he's in the bottom, so he's going to be quite wide. And something else is that you don't have any fold equity, so it means that you don't win much by doing all in compared to call. And if you really miss the board, so it's not going to happen a lot, but if you really miss the board, then you can decide to fold your hand afterwards. Sometimes it's going to be valuable. So here, with my top pair, it's a quite easy call. But what you should really understand is, even if I had a 5x, I would have to call, because any pair here is a good enough to go with the equity, with the pot odds. So you should really make sure that you call every pair in this spot. And I see too many mistakes again on those spots where the people, they don't call enough those hands. And he decided to go all in on this flop. I think it's quite standard on this end, and I won this one again. Okay, this one is really interesting. It's not an easy spot. We have really to make sure that he's going to go all in with hands that are lower than ours. So here with these statistics, I don't know if you can see the statistics well, but he's quite a good player. He really has a lot of aggressivity. He seems to play really good. And also this marker for me is I put it on the best players, or the aggressive players, the ones that are most capable of winning at poker. So here we have a quite an easy spot of free jam, because our opponent is going to be capable of taking hands that are under our hands that we dominate. I think like king queen suited, king jack suited, king 10 suited. Sometimes this guy could take them. So I really think it's a good hand to go with. And you can see he decided to go with king jack off, which really shows that he's an aggressive player. So something else, if you really want to understand if the spot is good, really make sure that the opponent is capable of taking hands that are under your hand, that are really valuable. Oh, here we have an easy spot. King 9 suited. Okay, I see too many folds here. You should really make sure that you go all in with those hands. When you are that short, you should really focus on having hands that play well in multi-way spots. This hand plays really well because it can make straights. It can make it can make straights. It can make flush. So in a multi-way spot where there's a lot of people that we play the spot normally, it's a really good hand to go with. But here we only we went only 2 people left, because he decided to ISO raise. This is also a good thing to do. If you see too many players that want to play the bounty in multi-way, you can ISO raise a bit more if you cover the other stack. So here ace queen off, he really had a good hand to go with. And finally, but I didn't win this one, but I took the good decision. That is the most important. Another hand that really is interesting, this one. This one is played on GG Poker. I think the only decision here is to go all in, even if his range is quite tight, I would say. Ace Jack off, this deep will never be a fold, even Ace 10 off, because we are so short that we really want to double up, and we are going to have a really good pot odds to go all in. Or it's really important to go all in with those hands, even if you think you're going to be too many times dominated. And this is what they decided to go. And after, I will play the spot one-on-one with him. I don't see his hands now. Yeah, he had jacks. Okay, it's really interesting also to understand here it was quite logical to understand that his range was quite strong, but we still took the correct decision. On the other hand, here, King 9 suited, I think the best way is to go all in with this hand. You cannot really call this stack depth, and the hand is quite good enough to go all in. So what you understand really in those spots is to really understand the pot odds. So if you have like 4 to add to a pot that is going to be 12, you only need 33% equity, but yeah, percentage. So you should really make sure when you have those type of holdings that you go all in a bit. I would say maybe wider than you think. So for example, this one, 4 blinds deep, I have a blocker with a jack. I think it's really important to go all in. Only if you have a specific moment of the tournament, then you can decide to fold this hand. Normally, I think it's the best way to go all in. Another hand also here, really good all in. Those suited one gapper hands are really good to go all in. On this stack depth, 5 blue blinds deep, you're supposed to shove a lot in small blind. So I think it's completely natural to go all in with this hand. And we are going to see other hands. Also, something else that I see, and I think we will conclude with this mistake that I see, is when you are normally 6 or under big blinds deep in a tournament with no, I would say, no special ICM pressure or moment of the tournament, then you should call a lot in big blinds, almost any two. Like, it's going to be crazy how much you need to defend your big blind when you are 6 blinds and shorter. So here I'm 4 big blinds deep. You could say, okay, this hand is rubbish. Okay, but that's not the correct argument. You should really understand that this hand is quite good enough because you're not going to have better hands normally in the next orbit, and you have the pot odds only just to call directly, and if you touch even one pair, then you're good enough to go all in. That's something else that I see, and I think I will finish on this. Too many people now, it's a bit a new, I would say, new style of like a new trend. They try to go all in directly on their own, but you should only go all in big blind if you touch, in the case that you think your opponent is going to check back and realize his equity too much. If you think the opponent is always going to put the money on his own and you are in value and you will always put your money in on your side, then you should definitely let him go all in because you're going to win way more. And another tip, so the reverse tips on this one is if you're in bluff and you think you can have a little bit of fold equity and your opponent is not going to c-bet all the time this board, then you can go all in with a bit more bluff, and so you can be a bit more unbalanced with a bit more of bluff in your range, just because the opponent is going to fold a bit more, and you can win a bit more. So here you can see I was a favorite, but he managed to hit his flush. It happens sometimes. What is really important in those hands, and I want you to really understand this, is that you shouldn't let yourself die. It's really important to double up. It's really important to fight in order to come back in the tournament, to maximize your chances to get to the top of the tournament. So really important here to know. You should always fight. You should always learn how to play those spots important, because if you have one big blind left, then you can win. If you have like one chip left, then you can win a tournament. You should never give up on a tournament. There are some stories. I already won some tournaments where I was like half a big blind deep at one moment, one big blind deep. So it can always happen. I've seen people win more than 10K and after a moment they only fell like 3 big blinds deep at one point. So it's really important to go all the way, not be afraid to put your chips in at the end, and try to take the spots if you really want to win the tournament. Now, if this video helped you, please subscribe, share the video, and like the video also. I will make other videos on this topic, on also at how to win at poker on different aspects of the game. I already made one video with 100 big blinds deep when you are really deep in the tournament. So this one is when you're really short, the other one is really deep. So I will put this the video here in the possible videos to see after. And otherwise, you can also click the link in my description if you want my help in your poker journey. And otherwise, we will see each other in another video. Hey, ciao, ciao.